What healthy behavior are people shamed for? Setting appropriate boundaries to manage the work-life balance. Yes, excluding relatives who aren't invested in your life from your wedding. This is why I eloped, and I seriously highly recommend it. No family at all. My realtor and some random dude were my witnesses. We had just moved to a place and didn't know anyone yet, which is why the realtor was there, haha. Turning down drugs and alcohol at parties. To alcohol, the cause of, and solution to, all of life's problems. Homer Simpson. Talk to each other honestly. The amount of times I see people comment dump them is insane. Considering most relationship problem you stumble across can be fixed with honest communication. Saying I don't know. I started doing this more while in my PhD program in my 40s. Admitting my ignorance makes me look like much less of a fool than pretending and being wrong. Also, cutting out toxic family. Had to do this with my older sister. My mum thinks that I should make things right when I've been trying to for years until I decided enough was enough. My sister was one of my biggest bully growing up, but because she's family, valuing their own free time, I was recently asked to tutor the son of an admin who works at the school I work at. It was just assumed that I'd want to do it. I was even thanked in advance. I declined the offer, not because of the pay, it was a very reasonable rate, but because I didn't want to lose my free time planning lessons, etc. The passive-aggressive backlash has been infantile and intense. Yikes, this is the worst sometimes. I absolutely loathe when someone offers up my free time or skills without consulting me first. Always puts you in a weird position because the person receiving already thinks you're good to go, and then you look like an asshole when you refuse. When it's the damn middleman who fricked both of you over. Yeah, cryptophagist will have no problem doing that for you this week. No Susan. I only have one day off and I don't want to spend it doing more of the same work I do almost every other day of the year. Sorry. Getting tested treated for steez edit. Whoa, I didn't expect this to blow up. Thanks for upvotes. My mum refused to let me and any of her kids get the HPV vaccine. Using the bathroom enough. As kids, all of us are told we must control and limit our bathroom usage, as to not leave class. Kids have underdeveloped kidneys and bladders. They need to pee more, yet they're punished if they go too much. How many of us developed bad habits and relationships with not drinking enough liquids through the day in order to avoid having to piss too much? How many of us decide to hold it in for others' convenience or comfort? So many people refuse to use the bathroom, especially shoot in public places, even if you need to go really bad. Why? Embarrassment, shame, fear. This sort of behavior isn't healthy. Our bodies tell us when we need to go for a reason. We should listen. Let's not forget that consistently holding in your piss for too long can actually cause medical problems in the long run. I had very frequent UTIs and kidney infections in school, due to how overly strict they were about bathroom breaks, not posting, having social media. We're taught not to share anything online, and then yet shunned for not sharing anything online. People question if I have stuff to hide. No I don't. Going to bed early, and prioritizing getting enough sleep. I work overnights, and the amount of people who laugh at people who sleep during the day. Admitting to mistakes you've made in the past. Admitting you've made mistakes. Ever. At all. And God forbid you learned something and changed your behavior as a result. Fat people going to the gym. People who shame fat people for trying to be healthier are scum. It's like shaming an addict for going to rehab. An alcoholic for going to an AA meeting. If you are trying to better your life, I'm cheering for you. Meeting a psychologist to solve mental problems, especially in Latino culture specifically, they think it's only for crazy people. Weirdly, both sexual prudence and imprudence. And another, though IDK how widespread it is, being okay with not having a solid opinion on something, or accepting a simple truth for themselves. I don't know, or I don't know enough to form an opinion. Right? Double quotation mark. Taking off of that, just being single. How dare you be okay with yourself and be okay just staying with yourself and not jumping into the arms of someone else immediately. Being sober, choosing not to drink on a regular or semi-regular basis. My boyfriend never had a rebellious teen phase. His mother is incredibly abusive. She thinks she raised him right, but all she actually taught him was to submit to an authority figure even when their demand is unreasonable, to avoid having your basic rights taken away. And how to lie. My authoritarian parents taught me how to lie by making it so scary to admit mistakes. I'd hide them and hope for the best because my punishment was the same either way. Not wanting to have kids. What's so wrong with trying to better my own life before bringing one on this earth? I'm helping raise my niece. I love her to death, but I hate being a parent to her. I know when my sister is off on her own or married, I'm gonna miss these days, but I'm gonna love living my own selfish life more. How do I explain that to my family? I say I don't want kids. They say how do you know? You don't even have kids? And I bring my current situation and they'll hit me with it'll be different with your own kids. I don't want kids. I want to live my own selfish life. I don't want to pass on any mental illnesses. I don't want to find out too late that I'm emotionally immature and am harming my child. I grew up in a great home. I still came out wounded on the other side. Not going out with friends, family when you don't feel up for it. Taking a sick day just to rest or for a mental health break. Sometimes a co-worker will ask what I was sick with when returning to work. Karen, I wasn't sick per se, but frick if I can't use the sick time our company gives us every year. Eating healthy food every time my friend ate a salad at work, this guy used to tell him to eat real food and to stop eating rabbit food. I ordered a salad at a fast food drive-up once and had to wait for it. Men. Crying are emotional moments in life. I lost my cat yesterday. At the vet I was trying really hard to hold it together when she was being taken away. And I really dislike that I feel the need to do that. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to openly cry when I lose what is essentially family. Listening to my stomach. Examples. Leaving food on my plate, taking reasonable portions, not eating breakfast. Skipping meals if I am super into a project or task. Somewhat related. I also skip meals if I am super into a project or task. Sometimes my stomach is having fun doing whatever my brain is doing. Edited since the last one didn't fit in correctly. Yep, I got shamed for that a lot as a kid and was made to keep eating even when I was full. Those stomach aches are the worst. Speaking directly, without making tremendous effort to soften yourself. This goes double if you're a woman. And I'm not talking about refusing to behave appropriately based on context or audience. BTW, I'm talking about making no effort to conceal your own discomfort, frustration, or alarm when someone says something wildly inappropriate or disrespects a stated boundary. Neglecting your personal and social boundaries for the sake of politeness does no one any favors. Emo. Setting boundaries. Everyone is always on board that sounds like a great idea. Until they're the person you're bailing on. Like, bruh, I'm not a flake, I'm just not at your beck and call. I've got my own life to get on with. Applies to friends, family, partners, and work. Even occasionally my dog, although he is an admittedly adorable attention-obsessed nudge. I think flake usually refers to the person initially agreeing to hanging out but then cancelling later, especially at the last minute. Sleeping. People are annoying competitive over lack of sleep. People are also rude about me not making plans. etc. knowing I'm going to need some sleep. Bro, I need a minimum of 6 hours to function properly and I've got shoot to do tomorrow, so I'm going to bed. Just saying thank you. Smiling face with smiling eyes and rosy cheeks. When someone says you're beautiful, or gives you a compliment. As a woman pooping normal bodily functions. I worked with a guy who told me when he was young he didn't think girls pooped. And then his sister was born. His world was shattered. Boomers seem to love shaming younger generations for going to therapy, when a lot of the time, boomers are the reason people need therapy. Boomers themselves also need therapy. As a mother, having hobbies that take time away from caregiving tasks. My ex used to guilt trip me when I would go kayaking with friends, a hobby that didn't involve him or my children. How dare I be a human being with hobbies outside of being a mother, right? Filing for divorce, for being quiet. IDK if it's a healthy thing, but sometimes I don't got anything to say. Woman with light skin tone shrugging. Yeah, any typically neurodivergent activities. Covering ears when overstimulated. Stimming. Special interests. Hyperfixations. Talking quickly and or loudly, especially when excited. Having monotone voice. Not making a lot of facial expressions when communicating. And so on. Cutting off contact with toxic family members. Just eating healthy. People give you shoot when you turn down a donut at work.